Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for all that you've done and all the teachings. And I can relate to how you've said in the past. I just have so many questions. I've really worked to narrow them down to 2.
Oh, we're out of time.
So let's see. The first one I think is around work, and I started a job about a year ago that I really thought was the culmination of a lot of manifestation and was the ideal job. And I felt as though the people that I were working for were very spiritual and very connected. And then something happened recently this year where I learned that was not really accurate anymore, or was perhaps never accurate. So the question is really around this notion of how do you go to work and stay focused on what you really want, and how do you continue to manifest the things that you know are good for you or right for you and what you really want to make happen when you're around a lot of negativity and you're around people who have vastly contrasting desires, and they are sometimes at work it feels like they're in command, if you will, and since they sign my paycheck, right, essentially have to do what they tell me to do, even if it's not always ethical, and that makes me very uncomfortable sometimes. So the question is not just for me, it's really hopefully for everybody, because we all have to work and make a living. And so,
well, there were a few things that you said that we want to reflect on, and then we'll take the whole of this question. But the most important thing, we felt a flawed premise sort of come out of you in the middle of this that goes like this. You said, I thought that I had found something that was really a match to what I wanted.
Right.
And then once in the middle of it, I found out that people who I thought were spiritual weren't.
Right.
And the flawed premise that we want to point out to you is it necessary for other people to behave in ways that you deem appropriate in order for you to be in the vortex? Because if they've got to shape up and be whatever current standard you are holding them to for perfection, then you're never going to get in your vortex, because they're all going to keep wiggling around on you. That's where we began today when we said if you once you let go of your need to control the uncontrollable, and then you tend to your own vortex. In other words, you could work for someone unethical and still be in your vortex. But you can't point out what you think is a flaw in someone and be in your vortex. So what it comes down to is, do you really get to set all the standards for ethics? Because that is a huge burden, you see. Where if instead, what we wanted to say to you as you were beginning is, you were right on track, because this work that you found was the next logical step for you. And in other words, your intuition was right, your guidance was right. It did unfold for you in just exactly the right way. But as we said earlier, so contrast causes you to put things in your vortex, you line up with it, you come into alignment with it, and in you are, and then another set of contrasting experiences will show itself to you, which will help you move to the next place. And so there will always be something wherever you stand that could be better. That's the basis of all evolution. In other words, the alternative is, I'm done. And therefore there is endedness, and that will never be. So what you really want to say is, I really like it that I thought that this was the perfect place, and I'm glad it turned out not to be, because I like the eternal nature of my continuing to reach for something that is more. But your discomfort is not because something's wrong with these people. Your discomfort is they were catalysts that caused you to clarify with even more specificity who you are and what you want, but then your attention to them is keeping you from moving there, and you're blaming them and their unethical practices for the way you feel. Now that's just a basis, and we know that's pretty heavy duty, but just the same, you gotta stop looking for love in all the wrong places. You gotta stop asking them to be perfect so that you can feel good when you gaze at them. you say.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. I think the other piece of that question related to work is when you meditate in the morning, or you really work to get into your vortex and you're ready to go, and then you think you know what you should do and you follow spirit, and then you get there and you're caught up in this maelstrom of swirling fear and stuff. How do you stay focused?
We get it that you might be in a physical experience where there are catalytic things that cause you to pop out of your vortex. And we get it that when you do, you don't feel too kindly toward those things that you feel are the reason that you popped back out of your vortex, because after all, you want to feel good. But if you can relax and acknowledge that no matter what, you still have control of whether you're in there or not, you're going to come to really appreciate. You see, if you had what people call the good fortune, and we think it's a disadvantage, if you had an experience where you were engaged with people who just knocked themselves out to keep you happy, so you were looking to them for your approval. You were letting the way they respond to you be your guidance about the way you behave. They would, without meaning to, train you right away from your own guidance system. And you really don't want that. You don't want to do that to others, and you don't want anybody else to do that to you. So when you discover that you can look at, here's the bottom line of it. Source, who you really are from inside your vortex, would not look at a person and call them unethical. Isn't that interesting? Esther says, Abraham, you got to be kidding. Did you see what they did? You're not willing to come out here with me and admit that they shouldn't have done that? And we say, where does that get anybody? Your exposure to this that you didn't want caused you to ask for more. We're looking at the more that you ask for. We're not looking back at the renegade who caused you to ask for it. We're looking at what you ask for, because we are forward looking in expansion. And when you do otherwise, you get separated. So it turns out that feeling of them being unethical, that feeling of disappointment that you feel, isn't because they're unethical. It's because you're not keeping up with your new and improved version of them. Ooh, you're not keeping up with your new and improved version of them. Esther says, Abraham, you got to be kidding. I've got to keep up with my new and improved version of them, but they don't. We say, yeah, because you've got control of keeping up with your new and improved version of them, but you don't have control with them keeping up with it. And if your happiness depends upon them keeping up with your new and improved version of them, oh, their feet are made of clay. Leave their feet alone. You have no control over what anybody else is doing, but you do have and what it comes down to, you cannot find a flaw in another, even if it's evident, and be in the vortex with the source within you at the same time. So it comes down to choices. I'm going to spend my life sorting through all of the details of manifestation and putting them into piles. Good manifestation, really good manifestation, bad manifestation, really bad manifestation. And I'm going to become political. I'm going to get the world to agree with me. Those are the bad ones, and those are the good ones, and those used to be bad, but they're not so bad now. And those used to be really terrible, but now not so terrible, but those still are really, really terrible ones. Who will vote with me on that? And we say, you just drive yourself nuts and waste your whole life trying to sort out piles of manifestation out there outside the vortex, when in all of that you have become this which you are denying while you're messing around with that. You see. So now let's get back to your question, because it was a really good one and several people in the room resonated with it. What do I do when I work for someone who seems like they have control over me? And we say that thought in and of itself is choking you off, because nobody has control over you. You are applying to a bigger law, you see. When you come into alignment with who you are, the universe will orchestrate circumstances and events for you. But if you've been looking to someone as the means, as the vortex through which your well-being flows, and then you think you've got to cater to their flawed analysis of how you're doing, that's what this conversation is about. What you're saying is, I've been thinking that my boss, first of all, I looked for the perfect boss. Didn't find one, thought I did, but turned out he's not even close to perfect.
Right,
So
very true.
I was looking for the perfect boss so that I could jump through the hoops, so that I could find my alignment through pleasing that person. And then I found out that Then I found out that they don't make good judgments. And now I feel lost. And we say, it's because you were never to look to them anyway. And you say, well, they signed my paycheck. And we say, so? When you come into alignment with who you are, the universe will orchestrate the events for you, you say. And you could come into alignment with who you are by looking at the positive aspects of where you stand, and you could live happily ever after in this environment as it stands right now. Or, in other words, you could take a near-perfect environment and focus on the flaws of it so much that you use it as your excuse to not be in the vortex. Or you could take a far from perfect environment and focus so precisely on the positive aspects of it that you could use it as your reason to be in the vortex. And being in the vortex or not being in the vortex will be the reason for everything else that comes after that. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So there will come a time that you could look at them and say, there was a time when I thought I should quit because you were so bad that I could hardly stand it. But then a sort of miracle happened. The worse you were, the more I asked for. And then when I discovered I didn't have to convince you in order to be a match to what I wanted, the universe just gave me everything I wanted, and I've got you to thank for it. How do you think you come to your point of ethics? You wouldn't have one idea of what you think is ethical if you didn't brush up against what you think is unethical.
That's true.
The contrast is what helps you to sharpen it. And this universe that is forming, this future reality, the earth that is coming as a response to what you all are putting in your vibrational reality, into your vortex of creation, it will be better still than what you've been living because of all of that, you see. Doesn't it give you a feeling of relief not to have to hold someone to standards of perfection? Doesn't that just feel better?
Yes.
Your government has never been and never will be the perfect government that you want. It's always an idea. Your family never will be the perfect family that you want. It's just helping you to create the idea. And your alignment with your ideal is what brings you into harmony with who you are, you see. Helpful?
Yes.
Something more?
Well, I don't know that there's so much more on that particular topic. I mean, I feel like the future holds a book for me along those lines to help other people do essentially what you described. So I think it is actually unfolding.
Well, it's an interesting book, because the book that you want to write, the presentation that you want to say is, you must not give a rip what the person who signs your check thinks of you.
Yeah.
And that's hard to hear, because most everybody standing outside the vortex think they've got to jump through those hoops, and then they don't feel free, and then they hate the person that they're responding to, and then they're outside the vortex, and then things don't go well, and then they have plenty of people to blame. When we say it, now let's say it from the context of inside the vortex. What someone else thinks of you really is not any of your business. But what you think about what they think is everything. You can't control what they think, but you can control what you think they think. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you bring yourself, in other words, when you find a reason to appreciate rather than a reason to blame, you bring yourself into alignment. And the argument Esther had with us again and again and again about this, because there was a rascal that she was so sure had wronged her. And so again and again, Esther would say, Abraham, you want to go back and check with others and see if this is really right? In other words, because it doesn't feel right to me that they get away with that.
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
can they get away with that? Isn't there any accountability for anybody but me?
Yeah.
And we said, no. No. Only you. You are accountable to you. And when you stop trying to make others accountable to you, you give up the control of the uncontrollable, and you are accountable to you. Now you're in your vortex, and now you are powerful, and now all things that you want come to you.